Hello everyone and welcome to the Stampwheel Release Video Hop. I'm Bridget Casey and I'm so excited and honored to be here with you today. It seems forever ago that we heard about this amazing new tool that was coming out, the Stampwheel, and here it is. Of course, in a beautiful box in Altenew style. We have a sticky mat that is 7.5 by 7.5. This is packed impeccably. I have traveled with this in the box, and this box is very sturdy and wonderful to store your stamp wheel. We have the base that is also called the stage. I'm going to get my writing so it's right side up, and we will put the sticky mat in there. I do want to draw your attention to make sure that you put the engraved side down and the flat side up. On your sticky mat, there are two carrier sheets, one on the back and one on the front. The one on the front required a little bit more muscle to get off there, but it fits down perfectly into the stage. Now we're going to work on our flip plate. On our flip plate, we want to make sure to take off the plastic coating that's on there. It's only on one side, and you can feel the difference. You can tell the side that it's on. And I'm showing you, I struggled with getting it started a little bit. It took me a few minutes. It's easy once you get it started. Just be very careful with sharp implements. So I got that started. It comes off effortlessly and is actually quite satisfying to peel that off. And now my flip plate is clear like glass. A final step, I'm putting on some enamel dots just so I know where the bottom is all the time, because I can rotate the wheel around to build different projects. Now we're moving on to Lush Garden. We're going to create a project today. We have an A2 spicy yogurt panel. We will put in our florals and our leaves. We will pick them up with the flip plate, flip it over, and use obsidian pigment ink to stamp our images. I did stamp twice for a very clear, crisp line. Then we will move our leaves up into that corner. With the stamp wheel, if I had a bigger piece of cardstock, I could have just rotated the wheel and stamped the layers effortlessly. However, I wanted to fill that tiny little gap in my piece of paper. So I was able just to move them and again pick them up, flip, and stamp. Now we're moving on to the layers A2 and B2. We will use Frosty Pink and Canyon Clay, respectively, on our florals. And I love that I can ink these up and they don't move while I'm inking them because they're being held by the base. And then I just flip and stamp. Now we're going to move on to the next layer for our florals, which will be A3 and B3. For A3, we will be using cotton candy, and B3, we will be using burnt red. When I've done some ink blending in the stamp wheel, I have put my little mini cubes right on my sticky mat, and it holds my ink cube in place while I'm ink blending as well. Something to keep in mind if you like to ink blend with stencils. We'll now move on to A4, and this will be our final floral layer. This is going to be in the beautiful coral berry that's stamped into place. I wanted to show you with stencils, the sticky mat will hold your stencil in place. It held the paper and the stencil and would not move. Simply peel up, adjust, blend, and lift. That takes the place of having to have further gadgets in your space. We'll now move on to A5 and B4 with buttercream for the flower centers. The final layer of the flower will be A6 and B5. And then we also have the leaves C2 and D2. A6 and B5 are in warm sunshine. C2 and D2 are in forest glades. The stamp wheel really does take the place of a lot of tools that we have used in the past because it does have that sticky base. It can hold on to paper and stencils. And if you get some ink on there, you can just take it to the sink, wash it off, and bring the stick right back. I've even dropped embossing powder all over mine, and it just rinsed it off in the sink, and it's perfectly sticky again. For C3 and D3, we're using evergreen. And I have to say, the fact I can ink blend and stamp all in one location easily is wonderful. And showing you the leaves also have a stencil. Now we're going to put our florals together into the perfect arrangement for this project. I have the Masonry Wall 3D embossing folder on spicy yogurt cardstock. I've die cut the florals and leaves, and now I'm placing them around the A2 panel. You will see I'm using glue tape to glue things together. As I decide on a location, I like to glue it all to one piece. That way, I move one piece around my panel as opposed to a lot of fiddly bits in places. I do have a trick to show you on how to glue them down permanently. When you get to this stage and everything has been adhered with a glue tape pen, add your foam tape on the back and it will provide some extra stability to make sure that everything stays glued. Now I have one piece that I can move around effortlessly. We have our little sentiment from Sweet Sentiments hot foil and die set. And I'm going to put that with a little foam tape on the back and put it right over the side of my florals. Thank you so much for joining us today. We cannot wait to see what you create when you get the stamp wheel home. Until next time, happy crafting.